Hey everyone, Connie here from the Daubers, and welcome to Shim-Line Saturdays. We are in the top 8, we're in week 2. As you would have noticed from the last couple of weeks, we took a small break, a small hiatus from the competition to show off some cards we've seen from the regional stuff and a couple of other things, i.e. the solo leveling bundles. Mainly because they came in and it kind of felt more prevalent to show stuff that was happening in the time. And we're going off with the Mighty Blitz versus the Bold Boimler. So let's just dive straight on in. So again, the main thing we are looking for with these shims is, in this case, being super negatively critical in our case, which is, does the artwork get ruined by the shim? So let's have a first look at the Mighty Blitz. So beautiful card, one of the best SRs in the game. This card actually as well, very problematic, and it's probably going to slide under the radar potentially. We might see something of it at Buffalo, but we'll find out. But yeah, this shim was actually one of the super contenders, I'm calling it, because 3 of the 4 Mighty Blitzes that I own all had shims, and they all had them almost in the exact same spot, bar the third one. I think the third one was like down the 4, and the other 2 were pretty much in the exact same. So it was a choice. This one ended up winning out. And in this case, as I say, it cuts through the moon. The moon becomes kinda weirdly noticeable because of it. It does look as if the shim looks like you can still see it a little bit, but it does look as if it cuts through the back of the cloak. And then through the front, it looks like it definitely cuts through the text. It's not really... it's kind of hard to see, but it does look as if it cuts. It does. A lot of these Critical Role ones seem to do this too, is they look as if they cut through the background and some of the forefront a little bit, but then somehow sneak behind different parts of the art. I know that's not actually the case. We can specifically see it the whole way down. It just kind of looks that way. I don't know how, if it's just the way it looks. But in this case, I'm looking at this and I'm going, right, how critical do we need to be on the centering? As such, it's quite close to being the centre, so it's noticeable. It doesn't it kind of like, it's noticeable at the top half. I think the bottom half with the text part seems to be, I'm going to say, like messy enough, kind of like there's enough happening there where it's not as seeable unless you're really zooming in and looking, kind of thing, in which case you can then get a bit more of a there it is kind of thing, mostly because of the foiling. But at the top part, I think, is the real part to look at, and it's a tough one. It's a tough one because it definitely like just is noticeable, but it looks as if it's like a non-existent shim at the bottom half, and it just is that top bit. And I don't know if that makes it worse, to be honest. I'm actually trying to. There's no real hidden shim to it either, which is one of the things that I've noticed with some of the other Crit Roll ones. This one's just very bold. This one is the Boimler. This one's really in your face and kinda hard to hide. Like, even when you do angles like that, for instance, you can just still see it. I think it's because the coloration of the moon and stuff. So this is a tough one to grade fully. I think it ruins the art a little bit, but it feels as if it doesn't really do much for it. I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. I just don't think it's... I think because so much of it looks like there's not a shim on it, I think that's actually what's saving it from like what could ruin the art. I'm going to say 2 out of 5 for this one. So, yeah, 2 out of 5 for the Mighty Blitz. So, let's move on and see its contender. So, it is facing off against possibly one of my favourite shims. In fact, actually, it is my favourite shim. This one was submitted to us by a lovely person from the community, and it is the Bold Boimler with the almost perfect, in fact, I think it is the perfectly placed shim down the face when he is in his evil mode, when there's like the 2 Boimlers kicking about in the show for a bit and you've got the good and the bad. This kinda, I mean, does this ruin the art? Or does this, in this one unique instance, enhance the art? I'm going to be honest. I think this is going to officially break the scale. We're going to change the rules because I make them up each week as I go anyway. And we're going to change the rules. I think this, for specifically the category of does it ruin the art, I think this is going to get 0 out of 5 stars. Right? because I don't honestly think you can put this like 1 star. It's not really doing much for the art. 5 stars would have been it's decimating the art. I think this is a 0 star. I think this is the first time ever we can't actually give this a rank. Like at a most push, if I twist my arm, we'd have to say it's a 1 star. In fact, no, it's a half a star. We're going to give it a rank, right? Because I'm changing the system again. We're going to give it a half star out of 5. Because honestly, when you look at this, especially when you know about the show and stuff like that, and he has like the pure evil clone and stuff like that, this whole split where you've got the good and the bad, it's almost thematically perfect for the card, almost like it should be intended. It's not, but it should be intended, and it's just so good. Now, I think also what saves this as well is, and I think all the foiling's the same, right? But some of the art for some of the different cards in the shows and stuff like that, the foiling hits different. I actually think the foiling on the solo level, I think the art. Start again. I actually think the foiling on the Star Trek Lower Decks cards for their collector packs, I think honestly are by far the best. I don't know what it is. They just hit different. And they look better for it. There is like a point where you can do stuff like that and it does not look like there's a shim at all. You get that hidden shim as well, which is quite prominent with the crit roll stuff. But as for this one, yeah, we're going to go with that 0, and we're going to go with the 0.5 out of 5 shims. It's just, oh my god, I mean, I just love this card. Like, the fact we got this sent into us is amazing, because you cannot beat stuff like this. This is sometimes what is amazing with shims. If it wasn't so constant, things like this would be holy grails. This would be something that actively people would be going out the way to get and try and find, because it would be so rare. And I think this one still is rare, to be fair. I don't really know anyone that's had a bold Boimler with the cut down the middle like this, to be quite fair. But yeah, that is the 2 of them. So there we have it, everybody. We have the Mighty Blitz versus Bold Boimler in the top 8. Next week we'll be going on to the other half of the top 8, and we'll be going through those 2 weeks alone before we get to top 4 and then finals. But yeah, look at these 2 cards in the comments below on every single where you can vote. You're more than welcome to put your votes in. So obviously we have on the Facebook posts when they go live, we have on the Discords when they go live, we have on the actual video itself, we have on the YouTube shorts on the Sundays, on the TikToks on the Sundays. Basically everywhere you can find this post, put a comment in it which one of these 2 you want to see going into the top 4. I'm biased and I'm saying Bold Boimler. Like, yeah, I think this is who I would vote for, but I actually do think the Mighty Blitz has a really good chance of going through as well, just based on the art alone. So yeah, that is this round, and I will see you all next week for some more Shim-Line Saturdays. Catch you later on, everyone.